What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 80, and we start today's episode off with our Champions League semi-final first leg clash here against the Portuguese side Benfica as they travel to England to take us on at Vicarage Road. What a fantastic debut season it's been for us so far in the Champions League, reaching the semi-finals after topping our group, then knocking out Ajax, then knocking out Borussia Dortmund, and now taking on Benfica. The board wants to reach the quarter-finals at the start of the season, but we're targeting the final now, and hopefully, you never know, maybe going on all the way to win it as well. We've got to beat Benfica first in these two legs, and the first leg is here at Vicarage Road. First chance fell to us, but Cesar made a great save here to deny Iñaki Williams. But as Benfica cleared the ball, it fell to Danny Rose. Who opens the scoring with a fantastic strike from range. What a goal by the former Spurs man, reminiscent of the goal he scored all those years ago against Arsenal in the North London derby as a teenager. He's a fully grown man now, and that was a man strike. Absolutely superb effort from Rose from range outside the area. It does take a nick off the defender. I'm not going to lie, you probably saw it on the replay there. I didn't see it in real time, so there was a deflection on the shot, but either way, it was on target. I think it was going in anyway. Rose will tell you that much, and we know for sure he's going to claim it. So Watford 1, Benfica 0, and what a superb goal from Danny Rose. So 1-0 to Watford, and Vicarage Road is rocking. It should have been 2-0 in the 41st minute though. A poor first touch from the Benfica man allowed Iñaki Williams to go forward and shoot. It was a great save by the Brazilian goalkeeper Cesar, and it was still 1-0. But from the corner, it's crossed in by Marco the Magician into the centre, and Michael Keane heads it in, and 4 minutes to go before the break. Vicarage Road is jumping up and down, or the fans at Vicarage Road jumping up and down, I should say, as we make it Watford 2, Benfica 0. Michael Keane second in the Champions League this season. Another assist for Marco as well. What a corner that was, and Keane puts it past Julio Cesar and makes it 2-0 to Watford. So in the Champions League semi-final first leg with 2 goals at half-time and playing really, really well. But sadly for us in the second half, 15 minutes after the restart here, just before the hour mark, Benfica would get themselves back in the game. Rose scored an absolute screamer in the first half, but for this goal, this was really frustrating, but I can't blame the AI for this at all. This was my fault. I gave the ball away, and as Benfica chipped the ball in here, Rose goes to control it. I tried to clear the ball away, but I didn't press the buttons on time, and sadly, as you can see, Victor Andrade steals in and does put Benfica back in this game and score what could prove to be a priceless away goal. So Watford 2, Benfica 1, and the away side are back in it. And Iñaki Williams was once again denied, though, to scoring in this game in the 63rd minute, but it wasn't because of Cesar making the save. Cesar was beaten by Williams this time, but sadly, as you can see, it was the linesman on the far side who has his flag up here, and the goal is disallowed for offside. Correct decision as well. Nice little ball through by Isgrove, and a great finish by Williams in fairness, but as you can see, he was just offside, and it was indeed the correct decision. So final score, Watford 2, Benfica 1. We do get the win despite that disallowed goal, and Benfica getting back into the game in the second half, and I felt full value for it as well. 8 shots, 7 of which on target. Benfica did dominate possession, but I still felt we were full value for that win. A fantastic performance, and we do claim a massive advantage in the Champions League semi-finals. Going into the second leg away in Portugal, we will have to be wary of that away goal threat that Benfica now pose because of letting that goal in the second half. It does mean that if they score 1, we'll have to score in Portugal, but either way, we are still in the driver's seat. Destiny is definitely in our own hands. If we keep a clean sheet away in Portugal, we will be going through to the Champions League final, and what an achievement that will be in our first season in the Champions League. And the board wanted us to reach the quarter-final stages, and I did say at the start of the season, I was thinking, well, you know, if we get ourselves a tough group, that may be quite difficult to aim for us, but we came through our very tough group and then knocked out Ajax, knocked out Borussia Dortmund, and we are halfway through from knocking out Benfica as well in this semi-final tie. Still taking on Aston Villa for the second of 3 games in today's episode here, back in the Premier League. Of course, our last Premier League game was a defeat against West Bromwich Albion at Vicarage Road. Not many people saw that coming, so for us to stay top of the table, we need to get back to winning ways as soon as possible and keep on trying to pull away from the Manchester clubs in second and third. This is a really action-packed first half. We dominated possession, 67% of the ball. We went very close as well a couple of times. Loftus-Cheek's header hitting the post was our best effort, but it was still 0-0 going into the break. But in the second half here, we had a great chance to take the lead as Conor Bianca stood over this corner. He crossed it towards Matej Vidra, who was on the edge of the area, and Vidra, in the 53rd minute, who literally had just came off the bench, seconds before this corner was taken, takes one touch touch to set himself, and then his second touch is a right-footed curling effort which nestles into the bottom corner, and he makes it Aston Villa 0, Watford 1. So Vidra, who had literally just came off the bench for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, just takes a touch, sets himself, opens up his body, and places it right into the bottom corner, but God only knows how the keeper didn't get to that one. I mean, seriously, the shot was so slow. I don't know how on earth he didn't shuffle his feet on time to get hands on that and get across on time. That was really poor goalkeeping, but Vidra will still claim it obviously as a good goal, and it is Villa 0, Watford 1. But unfortunately for us, just like in the Benfica game, it is deja vu. Not a left back, but a right back this time, who was guilty of not getting the ball away when he had the time. First Danny Rose, now Nathaniel Klein. As the cross comes in here, I press square to try and get the ball behind for a corner, but I must have mistimed it, because for Klein, he doesn't get the ball away for a corner, he doesn't get the ball away at all. The ball just seems to deflect off his foot and go up in the air, and Charles Nzogbia has the easiest finish of his career as the Frenchman puts it past Jack Butland from just a couple of yards out and makes it Aston Villa 1, Watford 1. And it was how the game would finish at Villa Park as well, a score draw. So once again, we failed to win and drop points in the Premier League. Very frustrated about that, because yes, we are still top of the Premier League with just a few games to go, but City keep on winning, United keep on closing the gap as well. It's a lot tighter than it was just a few weeks ago, and right now I feel like the pressure is just getting intensified, being in three competitions, through to the FA Cup final, still trying to get through to the Champions League final, and of course just about holding on to our lead at the top of the table as well. It's getting really tough for us to maintain our energy levels and our focus in all three competitions. So we're taking on Benfica for the third and final game of today's episode here, back in the Champions League semi-finals. The second leg here away in Portugal, of course having a 2-1 scoreline in the first leg meant coming to this game we knew that a clean sheet would put us through to the Champions League final. So because of that, my main aim in this game was simple: defend really valiantly and don't make any silly errors and allow Benfica in the game. So 20.5 minutes in, what do? Give away a penalty. Obviously, that's obviously going to happen, isn't it? When I'm trying to play tough defense, I'm obviously going to play too tough and give away a penalty. Really poor mistake from me here. Jonas takes it around Joe Davis, and I lunged in stupidly. It's a coming together of bodies. I can't complain about the decision. It was a definite penalty and a chance for the Portuguese side to put themselves in front and score the goal to make it Benfica 1, Watford 0 from the spot. So it's going to be Raul Jimenez from 12 yards against Jack Butland. Can the number 9 score? Yes, he can. Butland gets sent the wrong way. Well, it's a penalty down the middle, and Butland goes to his left-hand side anyway, and number 9 does make it Benfica 1, Watford 0. So the worst possible start to this game, because we know now that Benfica has scored and made it 2-1 aggregate because of the goal they scored away at Vicarage Road. Because of that away goal, they are now going through to the Champions League finals as things stand. So Butland trying to put him off, it didn't work. A really simple finish down the middle, and sadly for us, as things stand, we will be going out in the semi-final stage, and Raul Jimenez will be firing Benfica through to the Champions League final. So a poor start in this game. A few minutes later, we had a good chance to equalise here from this free kick, but Buffal was denied by a great save by Cesar, and it was turned behind for a corner. So really good save there by the goalkeeper, and it was still 1-0. But a few minutes later, though, another good chance for us to equalise here as Carvalho slides the ball through towards Iñaki Williams. He was denied twice in the first leg of Vicarage Road, first by Cesar, then by the offside flag, but this time by neither, because it's a great assist by Carvalho. The Portuguese holding midfielder slides it through to Williams, and that is a really composed finish. He had a struggling start to his career here at Watford, wasn't doing too well, but in the second half of the season has really turned it on, being a very valuable member of our team and continued to score goals. So Benfica 1, Watford 1, and we retake the lead on aggregate by 3-2. So really pleased with that. It's level on the night, but we lead over 2 legs. But in the second half here, 5 minutes after the restart here, Williams almost scored his second of the night with his header hit the post, but thankfully for us, Danny Rose follows in for his second goal in 2 Champions League games and chips it into the back of the net, although I thought Loftus-Cheek should have claimed this one, because you can see Rose chips it and Loftus-Cheek chests the ball in before the ball's crossed the line, but instead Rose is going to claim it. Fair enough, we don't care really whoever claims it, the number 3 or the number 8, so long as we get goal number 2 for the night, and we do. Rose, the left back, is the one that claims it, makes it Benfica 1, Watford 2 on the night, and 4-2 on aggregate. And the importance of that goal, the significance of that goal now, is that we have 2 away goals compared to Benfica's 1, and that means that they need to score 3 goals in the remaining minutes on the night, otherwise they are going out. So the task had been really difficult for Benfica anyway coming into this game. Now it's even more difficult. We scored these 2 goals, so really pleased with that. And the game and the tie was effectively over here as Sofiane Buffal makes it Benfica 1, Watford 3, and a Moroccan for us, who scored against Borussia Dortmund, scores here as well. Does make it 3-1. Was it Dortmund he scored against? Or I can't remember now. But still, the Moroccan does score here anyway. His second Champions League goal in the knockout stages, and makes it Benfica 1, Watford 3. So it was going to be a difficult task for Benfica once we got ourselves that second goal due to the away goal ruling. But now the task is certainly going to be an impossible one. 5-2 on aggregate. They would need to score 4 goals in the remaining minutes. Butler made a fantastic save there in the 81st minute to stop any chance of a comeback. And then in the 88th minute here, Rose goes on a storming run down the left-hand side. What a fantastic tie he's had in both legs against Benfica. And he also wins us a penalty as well. So Rose winning the penalty here. Although I will say, I think that this was a very harsh one to give. And even more harsh when Lisandro Lopez was shown a straight red card for this challenge. Because as you can see here, when Rose storms down the left-hand side, he takes it round him. He comes back and makes the challenge. I thought it was a really, really good challenge here. He wins all of the ball and then takes the man. It's certainly not a red card, that's for sure. But that's what the referee gives, a red card and a penalty as well. And as you can see, Rose would have a fantastic game and a fantastic 2 legs here against Benfica. Does win us a penalty and give Mark the Magician the chance to put the icing on the cherry on the cake, I would say, and make it Benfica 1, Watford 4. As usual, we chip it down the middle when we're not too sure, but it doesn't matter. Julio Cesar dives to his left-hand side, and Mark the Magician does put the icing on the cherry on the cake and makes it Benfica 1, Watford 4. So a simple chip down the middle from Mark the Magician. It is 4-1 to Watford, and it's all over. We are through to the Champions League final in our first season in the Champions League. What an achievement, and what a night here away in Portugal as well, because I really wasn't sure coming into the game how we'd do. I thought Benfica might stun us, and when they scored that early penalty, I was fearing the worst. I was thinking, oh god, no, here we go. I'm going to throw it away at the last hurdle, but instead, we make it through to the Champions League final. A superb performance, particularly in the second half, and we are indeed through to the final of the Champions League. What a season. The dream season does indeed live on. We are still top of the table in the Premier League. We're into the FA Cup final, and we're now into the Champions League final as well. Can we complete a historic and memorable treble to end the season? Touch wood we can. It's going to be difficult, but hopefully we can indeed do that. But that does end the episode, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you're enjoying today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like, so that is much appreciated. Of course, it really does help my channel out, but you don't have to leave a like if you don't want to, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.